Hey there, Shua here with another drawing tutorial. Today I'm going to talk about character ideation. Now I've got my sketchbook here, and one of the things I like to do from time to time is get a magazine, and I look for pictures of people that I can use as photo reference, and I tend to look for pictures with good posture or gesture or facial expression that are emoting something because I like to not only study the person, whether it be their hairstyle and their outfit or whatever, but I also like to study the projection of personality or the attitude with which they carry themselves, because I want to be able to draw those things into the drawing as well. And that's going to translate a little bit into the character ideation that we talked about. I'm just going to quickly flip through my sketchbook here. Different studies I've done from photographs. You may recognize a person or two in here depending on kind of what your interests are. This is a great director who did Legend of the Guardians, I believe. And I forget his name, but there was an article on him. My comic book, The Legend of Harapan, will have a lot of motorcycles and different vehicles in it. This is just some perspective stuff I did. I want to talk a little bit about orthographic and perspective view. So these are some characters that I was drawing in a very orthographic view, and what that means is everything looks very even from head to toe. There's no perspective drawn into it. Now this character translated over as I'm developing it, this becomes in perspective, and what I mean by that is the horizon line is about at the hips here, and so as you look at the feet you're looking down on them. As you look up you're looking up at the head, so you can see the underside of the chin and those kind of things. That's in perspective. This is where everything is pretty straightforward. You're kind of, when I draw in an orthographic sense, everything's pretty much head on. Her head's tilted down a little bit so you can see the top of her head more. Perhaps this is a better idea of what an orthographic view of a person would look, and you can kind of tell how much more dynamic a perspective view is. And so when you're telling a story, sometimes it's more impactful to have them in a perspective, drawn in a perspective way. Again, more motorcycles there, more character drawing, trying to figure out some different things. Also in character drawings, I'll look at other artists. Clement Sav was an amazing artist, and some of his work and his lines are just really impressive to me. And so this is actually looking at one of his drawings. I was drawing from that as I was trying to design one of my characters. But then I'll reiterate that character several times. Again, you see the motorcycles. This is just leading up to a game that they play on the island of Harapan. This being the main character, Caden, this being me studying out how I'm going to draw Maya. And it's very helpful to break down a person into different parts to sort of nail down the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the hairstyle, you know, the dimensions or the perspective of the head in relationship to the neck and those kind of things. Ludovicio working on his costuming, and I come back to him later and we'll talk a little bit about that. These are just some more online tutorials that I did just to kind of get the hang of it. Mark Crilly's tutorials are really helpful. Again, a main character before he's able to grow facial hair, because we kind of grow up with him. So I have to draw him at different stages of development. Caden, Remy, and Maya. Some of the birds on the island are huge, and well, there's more. I don't want to give away too much. Again, this guy, great character. He was in Life magazine, I believe, or Time magazine. One of the guys who worked on, I think, the website for Obama. And just a cool character overall. I mean, huge earrings, crazy hair, great just look and feel, and I wanted to capture that. There's another commercial, the guy just cruising, laid back, unique perspective. And I try to draw people from all different perspectives so that I can start to understand and capture a look and a feel. So these are of Sebastian, and I go from being kind of realistic to being cartoony and trying to get a style nailed down. Again, another perspective drawing. Here's some more. Raleigh, one of the famous athletes on the island. Here are the characters again, Caden, Maya, Remy, and Addison. You can start to see that they've developed. They look a little bit better, more cohesive and put together here as I've gone through the process. And I, by the way, have about 5 sketchbooks that I work on at any given point in time, so these are not the only drawings that led to this. So Hopefully that kind of helps you realize that it's not a quick process. It's one that takes some work. Here's a great shot, and I kind of compiled some different images that I would look at and then sort of pieced them together, trying to keep them in perspective of the game that they play on the island. You can see the aerial stuff, you can see guys riding ATVs and motorcycles and all that. And Simeon, little quick drawing, didn't really use that page much, another vehicle. Alright, now here is Will. And Will's older brother has a certain look and a feel to it, and his brother is big and strong, and he is kind of the runt, if you want to say, smaller. And so I wanted him to look like his brother, so I've gone through many iterations of him. He needed to have dark hair, needed to have kind of a double bouncing nose there, double hump nose, but needed to be skinny. He needed to look tough like his older brother, but he needed to be kind of smaller with a slight frame. So these are kind of the iterations working through those details, and I still haven't 100% settled on it, but I really do kind of like this one. And you can tell this guy is another iteration, but he's too lanky, too long. The legs are too long. He's got to be shorter and squattier to kind of rhyme with to be, you know, the brother of this bigger, more equally balanced character. So, at any rate, Sebastian, working through some of the details of the costuming. He is a man of the sea that is not wealthy, so he really kind of grinds it out. So his clothing can't look like he has a lot of means. On the other hand, Ludovico is a character who's been commissioned by the Queen. He has a lot of money. Rosa has also been commissioned by the Queen, so she has a lot of money. So their outfits, while they're within the same genre and time period on the open seas, looking for land, looking for different things, they have to have different costuming, and that's part of the characterization of them. Also, he's more heroic in his build. He's a little bit more of a con guy, so he's got his slick back greased hair and dark look about him. He has a little bit more of a heroic feel to him, at least hopefully that's what I'm capturing there. And so those are elements that also play into your character design. Okay, enough about that.